You may have seen me look like this before. I just did a review for this Summer Fridays sheer skin tint on the same day, and now I'm giving you the beautiful radiant concealer from Charlotte Tilbury, and I've been so excited about this one. So let's get right into it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the product. So it goes for $33. I have the shade 4 Fair with me, and it's good for 6 months after opening it. So you better use it fast, which I know a lot of us just forget and we keep applying it, but sometimes they start kind of burning and itchy, and that's when you know you gotta throw it away. But this concealer is kind of like one of their latest releases, I'm pretty sure. And it's very standard packaging. The doe foot applicator is just one of those small regular ones. It's not one of the jumbo ones that some concealers have for some reason. I don't get the purpose of those super huge ones, but this one is just a super regular one. The consistency, to me, it's very much creamy. Like, it doesn't really move once you apply it anywhere. It feels thick. Like, not super thick, but definitely not liquidy in any shape or form. As you can tell, I'm kind of moving it and you still see coverage there. So this shade is quite pink on me. I did want to get it like that because my concealer from Nars is a lot more. Pink tones in general are just really good for covering a darkness. This is definitely going to be my go-to just brightening concealer. Really good formula, honestly. I have no complaints. And when you use a smaller amount, it's just going to look so natural and so brightening, and you're not going to get like creases or anything. I find that the less you use with your concealer, the better it looks, with this one specifically too. So they are claiming it's a hydrating medium coverage concealer with 16-hour wear. I'm not really going to test it for 16 hours. I don't really like wearing makeup for that long. They claim it gives you a very soft focus kind of look, which I'm guessing, I think it's true. I think it looks pretty good. And they also claim it's humidity resistant, sweat proof, and transfer proof, and waterproof. So according to them, you're covered in any circumstances. If it rains on you, you're covered. If you start exercising or sweating, you're covered. And I have worn it for a very long time when I was traveling on Denver. Walking, I put it in the morning and then walk all day with it. And honestly, it looked fine. At no point did I notice that like, oh, my concealer's looking super bad. So I do really enjoy the concealer. Let's go over to the demo now. I just applied the Summer Fridays skin tint, and this video should have just gone up. Now we're gonna jump over to this concealer. I've been using it on my trip, so it's not really a first impression. It is more a review. My shade is the shade 4 Fair. This one is fair with neutral undertones. I'm never a fair in any single concealer. I'm usually just light, but every light is a fair in this line. So they call the lightest fairest. So I'm not fairest, I'm fair, which is, I guess, a light. And I'm usually going for the neutral undertones rather than the golden undertones, because golden lately has become very, very, very golden. The wand is like a very regular wand. The color looks pretty light on me. I think this is probably the lightest concealer that I have for now. That is just a tiny bit. I know that a lot of people love to put a lot of concealer on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply just a little bit more and a little bit more down here and a tiny bit up here, which is kind of like what people are doing to get more of a lifted eye look. And it is so brightening. It is so creamy. It's not very runny. It has like a really thicker kind of texture. So yeah, the texture is a lot more thicker and creamier than what I'm used to. I'm not really dragging much. I'm really just like stippling it in. I hope you can see that luminosity that it's bringing to the area compared to this side. You can tell that it's just more brightening, more lifted. So it is described as a medium coverage, so you're not going to get an extreme full coverage, but it is pretty buildable in my opinion. So if you want more, you could definitely go ahead and add more. I find like the less concealer you use, the better your under eye looks. When we put a lot of product in there, you're just caking it up and it's just going to go inside your lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to try and cover up a little bit of these pimples. I usually just cover them up with a matte concealer. I'm going to try and dab it. Okay, so that did help.
I still see it though. I'm gonna use some Laura Mercier, remove some excess on the back of my hand because it is a lot. I think with powder under your eyes, if you have too much, like I'm just not a fan of how dry it looks. So make sure to blend out the creases before you go in. And then I'm gonna go ahead and look up and press just a tiny, tiny bit. That is kind of how the concealer looks. I honestly really do enjoy it. I think it looks good with powder as well if you use a very little amount. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup and then I'll be right back with some final thoughts.
It's a really good concealer. It's really the one I've been reaching for ever since I got it. I just really love the color on me. I think it just brightens and it's quite great. I can tell you that this is a really good concealer. So if you're planning on purchasing it because you need a new concealer, I mean, this one is a very solid choice. I don't love the packaging. I feel like it looks drugstore, kind of like a drugstore concealer. And for being Charlotte Tilbury, I just want more a luxe experience. Not the worst, but it's not like the best. I will definitely continue using this one until I get tired of it or it runs out. Who knows? Maybe it's my new go-to. Maybe it will take the throne of the Nars. For now, I can tell you that I really enjoy it. This is Light 2.2 in Nougatine. I feel like this is very similar to my skin tone rather than it being bright. I'm gonna put this one right next to it. I feel like it's a lot more, yeah, it's definitely way more fair. The Charlotte Tilbury is the one on the bottom. You can definitely tell it's a lot more fair pink than the Nars one on the top, which is a lot more of my golden skin tone. I think the Charlotte Tilbury is just going to be my go-to for the moments where I just want a lot of brightness and I want to cover up the darkness. Pink and peachy tones tend to cover up blue and darkness a lot more. That's probably what I'm going to use this concealer for. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what else you would like for me to review, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.